Hey guys, welcome to Scatterbrain Productions. I'm gonna finally show off the fossils I got from my trip. These fossils are somewhere around 310 million years old. They're mostly sea life, because that's what Texas was that long ago. This was a part of a carbite. You can just barely see some ridges on it, on the inside, where it was. This is a fossilized shell. It's mostly filled in with dirt and rock on this side. You can see the patterns on the outside very nicely on this one. This is a slightly better version of that carbite piece again, with more clear defined ridges. The easiest way to tell the difference between the shell and the carbite ridges, or the direction they're going. The shell's ridges are mostly uniform and vertical, while the carbites are a little more misshapen, that you can kind of see right there, and they're horizontal primarily. Here's another little chip of a shell. This isn't the same kind of shell as that one, this one, but I'm not quite sure what kind of shell it is. On this, this long piece right here with these little bumps are actually a part of a fish's spine. You can kind of make out where some of the nerves would have been. And on this side, you can barely see those little ridges on this one. That indicates this is where the brain would be. Or rather, this is the part that plugs into a brain. Ignore that. Down in here, this is where another part of the shell would have been. It looks like they've chipped out. It would have been the shell of this creature. So based off the direction, this would have been part of its mouth, maybe. I think this is a carbite spine. There are two different spines that look like this at the Mineral Well Fossil Park, though. One is smooth on the outside, and the other is bumpy on the outside. And I don't remember which one's which. This part right here, this darker part, is another piece of the carbite. I think it's different from what produced the spine, and they just ended up next to each other as they fossilized. You can also see the darkest red that indicates this has at least a little iron content. And these pieces right here, these indents, they're from some form of ocean floor dwelling animal. I'm not 100% sure what. I didn't pay that much attention to the poster that they had at the park. This is a more intact piece of shell right here. It's better than the other ones I have, but it's completely encased in this rock, and if I try and break it out, I'll probably break the shell. This is the impression of one of the broken shells. This is a third type of shell that indicated this one's, I think, the proto-ancestor of clams, or not clams. It was one of the ones It was one of the ones that's light claims, but it's a couple steps back on the evolutionary tree. These are a couple more of the footsteps right here. This is, I think it was a cubite shell. This one's kind of hard to tell because it's very filled in with different pieces of slate rock and the like. And this is a piece of this shell, I believe. If not this specific one, then certainly the same type, but I think it's the same shell because I found them next to each other. These two, the ones I just showed you, I dug up myself. Like they were nowhere near to the top of the ground, meaning when I dug them out for the first time, that was the first time in 310 million years they'd seen sunlight, which is wild to me. But there were several other smaller fossils that we had collected, but my fiance kept those. She primarily found this same kind of spine, but she found an almost complete one that was extremely small. Like I could not even see it without my glasses small. So those were kept in our water bottle so that, well, not an empty water bottle, how about that? So that they wouldn't be lost. And since she found most of those little tiny ones, she kept that while I kept these bigger ones that I mostly found. Because my eyesight is not as good as hers, even when we're both wearing our glasses. Yeah, I'm gonna dump a bunch more of the short videos from the botanical garden, and I'm also going to be talking about the full trip for the botanical garden, doing a map in a little bit, and then I'm going to be also showing off an old jailhouse museum that we visited too. I have their pamphlet. I'm going to show off and talk about those in my next video probably. But thank you for listening, if anyone's even been listening.